welcome to another Cook Along live series. Happy New Year. Today we're going to make a curried chicken and leek soup. This is the first of 6 recipes that we're going to do for this block. This should be a nice, quick, easy one to get started and a nice, healthy one for the start of the year as well, for those cold nights that are coming. So, first of all, what we're going to do is we're just going to prep the veg. So, trim your leeks. Trimming your leeks just means taking the tops and the bottoms off it. So there was a good waste back there. Oh, so yeah, take the tops and bottoms off it and wash your leeks. Obviously they're coming out the ground. Just need to make sure that they're kind of all safe to eat. So just what you want to do is you just want to slice it up. I always kind of chop in half and then slice it up from there. I usually, when I say clean your leeks, I usually clean the leeks after it's chopped up, just because then you can really clean out the mud that's kind of in them. You'll see actually on my chopping board, you can see there's actually quite a lot of mud still in it. So we chop up 2 leeks, chop some bottoms off. Leeks are from the same family as the onions, so a good tip in kind of soups, if you don't have onions, then you can always just use leeks as a substitute. Leeks in supermarkets have got a bit more expensive, so kind of vice versa, as you can just use onion. In this recipe you kind of have an onion already in the recipe, so that's why you'll just add another extra one. When you're doing this, just put your leeks into the bowl, whatever but the bowl by the looks of that, and then you're going to wash them. You're going to put it through a colander and just give it a nice wash, and I'll be back after that to go through the next part of the veg prep. Okay, so now that your leeks are washed, what you're going to do is now you're going to prep your onion. Again, you're just chopping the ends off your onion and then peel it. How you want this onion to be kind of chopped up this time is finely chopped, so using the same method as kind of what we did last cook along, by chopping it in half and then doing small cuts on the onion surface. So just peel, make sure you to see the white of the onion, that's when you know it's all peeled. You shouldn't have any brown. So chop in half and then just do small chops, but don't chop all the way through the onion, and then to the other direction. And that just use small. What this cook along is kind of going to do, this series of cook along, is it's all about one pot. You just need one pot to put everything in, and it's quite good for a budget, or budget cooks as well. So once you chop that up, just put it in the same bowl as your leeks. What is going to happen is you're kind of going to put all your veg in at the same time to the pot to fry off. And then on top of that, you're going to prep your celeries. Celery is a very much an acquired taste, celery. Personally, I don't like it, but actually in recipes you can't really taste it. Along with, obviously, celery is one of our allergens. So obviously if you have a celery allergy, don't put it into the soup. You can kind of adapt it with adding more veg, or you can just kind of ignore the celery and Don't add anything else. Tops and bottoms off, and just, it does say in your recipe finely chop. At the end of the day, it's kind of going to get put through a blender, so the finely chopping, if you're not going to blend it, finely chop it, but if you are going to blend it, you can just chop it up coarsely. Right, and what you're going to do now is we're going to put our induction on, put it to a medium heat, put some oil in your pot, wait for the oil to heat up. You can put oil in or you can put butter in. I think butter kind of just makes it a bit more greasy, so that's why I would choose to put oil in instead. This is olive oil. You can use sunflower oil or you can use your vegetable oil as well. So make sure it's heated up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to chuck in all your green veg, so your onions, your leeks and your celery. Chuck that in there along with our chicken breast. With our chicken, what I would say to do with the chicken is chop it up. Obviously before you pop it in, so just chop it up into cubes or dice it. In soups, it'll kind of disappear into the soup. The only thing is when you obviously come to blend it, you're going to have to remove the chicken, so don't make it into too small bits because then you won't be able to see it through the soup. Now that you can test the pot is hot enough by putting a bit of veg in. If it fries or if you hear a sizzling, then you know it's hot enough. If not, then just wait until you do hear it from that veg that you've put in. So what you're going to add in is your leeks, onion, celery and your chicken breast into your pot. And you're going to cook it for around about 10 minutes. It's not really like a science that you need to have it for 10 minutes. Soups generally take less time to cook. I can hear it sizzling now, and actually if I take my mic off, and this is what it should sound like. So once you hear that, then you know you're ready to cook your veg and your chicken. Let's put the mic back on, right. So put your onions and veg into the pot. Make sure to obviously get all your veg in and give it a wee stir, because obviously we don't want to burn our veg. When that's in, add your chicken breast in. If you want to make it a bit more protein, then I would add more than one chicken breast. This recipe does have one chicken breast. It does serve two, but because you've got so much veg in there, I actually think it would probably serve a little bit more as well. On the recipe, it does say that you can chop up the chicken later, so you can pop it in, you can boil the chicken, and then later on chop up the chicken at the end. It's entirely up to you how you do it. I like doing it this way just so that I know the chicken is cooked all the way through and it is smaller bits and you can kind of manage to see where they are. The only issue would be obviously coming at the end of it is trying to remove it before the blend. So you're going to let that cook for 10 minutes. Whilst that's cooking, you're going to make up a chicken stock. So to make up a chicken stock, it's quite simple. You're going to use 1 or 2 chicken stock cubes, doesn't really matter how many. 2 gives you more flavour, but 1 is also fine. And what you're going to do is you're going to use 1 litre of water. So 1,000 mils. And you're just going to pop this stock cube into the measuring jar. Given this, obviously, just keep making sure you stir your veg at the same time. You're going to put 1,000 mils or 1 litre of water into your stock. So it's really hard to see. So that's 1 litre. Just give it a wee stir, making sure all the chicken stock has dissolved. Along with that stirring, just obviously stirring in your veg. That's your stock done. What you're going to do now is you're going to prep your potatoes. Veg, slightly on. So, with our potatoes, I'm just going to get a new knife and a new chopping board because I've used that in the chicken. Okay. So, what you're going to do with your potatoes is you're just going to peel them and chop them. Doesn't really have to be a fine art as well on your potatoes, but just kind of just peel all the potato. As potatoes are quite starchy, try and do this right before you're going to put them into your pan, just so it doesn't go brown. That's what happens with potatoes. So that one and this one. Potatoes last for ages. We've still got potatoes left from Christmas. It's always quite an easy and usually quite cheap veg to get to add into any soup. And it's a natural thickener as well, so it's good for thickening soups if you do have soups that are generally quite thin. So just peel into the bin. And we're going to move on to chopping up our potato. Chopping up our potato is just you're going to chop in half, and then you're just going to chop it into chunks. You can chop it again if you want to make it smaller, but I quite like chunks. Plus, again, you're going to put it through the blender, so yeah, it might take a little longer to cook, but actually it's going to go down into the blender anyway. So, your potatoes are now chopped. Your stock is now on. Just keep stirring that. Keep stirring that. That's been about 5 minutes. So what you're going to do now is you're going to add in 1 teaspoon of curry powder and half a teaspoon of turmeric. You can get different types of curry powder. you kind of choose what you best. I always say kind of madras or mild curry powder is quite good if you're around kids, or if you're working with kids. It's always quite a good one. But you can choose mild or hot if you like, medium or hot if you like a little bit more spice to it. And then what you're going to do is just coat the veg, coat the chicken in that curry powder. Then you're going to pour in the hot stock. And the potato. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually leave that to simmer away for around about 15 minutes. So come back and see what it's like in about, we'll come back and see what it's like in about 10 minutes. So that has been around about 10 minutes on the broil. You might notice that it has reduced slightly, depending on like how long you've kind of put it on and what heat you've put it on. It might reduce quite quickly. If that is the case, you can just add more water, or if you like a thicker soup, just leave it be. So what I've done before I'm going to blitz it, I'm going to take it off the heat. I'm actually going to take one of these out from a pot to go on, and then I'm going to blitz the soup. But before that, what I've done is I've taken out all the chicken bits that I've put in. What I would say if I was to do the recipe again, I would keep the chicken breast whole, and then it means you can take it out and then chop it up after it's cooked. It was a bit of a faff. So, what to do when you're blending it? How you know it's cooked, so you can blend it, is if the potato is soft. So when we say tender, we just mean it's soft. It's not brick hard. And you can kind of blitz it to what kind of consistency you like. It is kind of like a leek and potato soup with chicken through it. So I quite like it smooth with little chunks. What you can do is when you remove the chicken from it, you can take some of the leeks out, and then it means that when you put the chicken back in, you'll have a little bit of still lumpiness. Or alternatively, when you can take some of the potato out and do the same. That would be the time in which you would do that. If you feel like some of the potatoes are hard, some of the potatoes are easy to blend, then you might need to put it back on the heat for just a couple more minutes to get those last little bits of potato cooked all the way through. But I am quite happy with this soup. Next week we're going to be looking at kind of spaghetti bolognese, a classic for any family meal, and it isn't really you don't need to break the bank to make a spaghetti bolognese. So that is what we're going to do next week. Once you have blended this as much as you feel you want, it should be quite a thick consistency. It should be similar to what a leek and potato soup would look like. A little bit of curry in it. All you do is you add in your chicken, and then you are ready to serve. So just put your chicken in, mix it around, and that is you. Your chicken, curried chicken, and leek soup. I say next week, join me for spaghetti bolognese, all our recipes for this block is already on the website. So if you want to get ahead and get started, then you can check them all out, along with all the other recipes we've done previously in our Cook Along Live series, with all the videos and all the recipes to help you do real cooking, live cooking in the real community. See you next week for Spaghetti Bolognese.